All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into what is, without a doubt, the single most important chemical reaction on our entire planet.
So what are we talking about here? Well, you can forget about some crazy experiment in a high-tech lab. No, this is happening right now, literally all around you. In every park, every single forest, even in that one blade of grass in your backyard.
I mean, this one process, it's the bedrock for pretty much everything. The food we eat, the very air we're breathing right this second. Yeah, you guessed it. We are talking about photosynthesis. Okay, so what exactly is it? Well, at its core, photosynthesis is it's the way plants, algae, and even some bacteria use sunlight to make their own food. Think of it as the ultimate solar-powered energy conversion. It's this really clever mix of physics and chemistry, right? So the physio part, that's just the plant grabbing the physical energy from sunlight. Then comes the chemical part, where the plant uses that energy to whip up a chemical meal for itself, which is basically sugar. And get this, that sugar is what becomes the fuel for almost every single living thing on this planet. I mean, you gotta hand it to them. Plants are the ultimate chefs. They take just 3 simple ingredients and literally create the fuel that runs the entire world. But what's really fascinating to me is where all of this actually goes down. Okay, to really get this, we've got to go see where the magic happens. So let's zoom in, way in on just a single leaf. Okay, so once we're inside the leaf, we find millions of these tiny little cells. You can think of them as like the basic building blocks. But the real action isn't even there. It's what's inside these cells that are the true powerhouses of the plant. Believe it or not, every single one of those leaf cells can be packed with 20 to 40 of these little microscopic factories. They're all working in sync, kind of like a huge solar farm, trying to soak up every last drop of sunlight. And right here, this is our factory floor. It's called a chloroplast. Just picture it as this tiny, super specialized room inside the cell, where the whole complicated dance of photosynthesis actually happens. So the work that goes on inside this chloroplast, it's kind of like a 2-part assembly line. The first part, that's all about gathering up the power from the sun. You can think of it like a 2-act play. In Act 1, our little factory captures the sun's energy and stores it in these tiny rechargeable batteries. Then in Act 2, it uses the juice from those batteries to actually build the final product. So let's dive into Act 1 first. Okay, so it all kicks off with pigments. The main player here is a molecule called chlorophyll A. He's the boss, but he's got a team of helpers, right? Like chlorophyll B and these other guys called carotenoids. You actually know them. They're the pigments that make carrots orange. The whole team works together like a giant satellite dish, catching a whole bunch of different kinds of light and channeling all that energy right where it needs to go. And this right here is the brilliant reason why plants are green. Just look at this. They are amazing at soaking up blue and red light for energy, but the green light, they don't want it. So they just reflect it away. And that reflected green light is exactly what hits our eyes, which is why we see plants as, well, green. Okay, so let's recap Act 1 real quick. Sunlight comes in and boom, it charges up the whole system. To keep the process going, a water molecule gets split apart, and guess what gets released? Oxygen. A pretty nice byproduct for us, huh? And the most important part, the sun's energy is now stored in these tiny molecular batteries. These are the factory's power packs. They are fully charged and ready to go for the next step. All right, Act 1 is done. Now it's time for the real manufacturing stage. The factory is about to use those freshly charged battery packs we just made to build its final product. This whole part of the process happens in what's called the stroma, which is pretty much the gooey fluid filling the inside of our chloroplast factory. Now, you might hear this called the dark reaction, but that name is honestly a little confusing. It doesn't need to happen in the dark. It just doesn't need direct sunlight to work. Why? Because it's running completely on that battery power we generated back in Act 1. So here's what happens. The factory grabs carbon dioxide right out of the air. It uses the energy from those little batteries to piece together a stable 6-carbon sugar molecule called glucose. And that's it. That's the plant's food. But the scale of this, it's mind-blowing. All the plants on Earth combined produce over 150 times billion tons of this sugar every single year. Okay, so let's zoom all the way back out. We've seen how a tiny little factory inside a leaf makes one single molecule of sugar. So what? Why does this one tiny event matter so much to us, to the entire planet?
Because everything comes back to this. That one simple sugar molecule, that is the energy. It's the energy that flows from the plant to the animals that eat the plant, and then to the animals that eat those animals. It's the start of it all. Seriously, think about it. From the tiniest little insect all the way up to the biggest blue whale in the ocean, almost every form of life on this planet depends, in one way or another, on the energy captured by plants doing this one amazing thing.
You know, plants basically perfected solar power billions of years ago. It's this elegant, ancient, and totally life-giving process that is still powering our world every single second of every day. It's a pretty good reminder that sometimes the most powerful engines aren't made of steel at all. They're made of sunlight and a single green leaf.